Hello everyone, welcome back to the Knife Channel. Mr. Candor here. Today I'm just gonna see what in the world is creating so much friction in this knife here. I've done everything short of taking it apart. I've washed it under warm water. I've put oil on the bearings. I've tried to play with the action a little bit. I'm not sure what is going on, but lately it's developed a little bit of a squeak. This here is the ZT0460 tie, for full titanium version. The smaller version, there is a larger one. I believe it's the 0462, if I'm not mistaken. This one I went ahead and I did put a little lynch clip on it. I think that looks nice on here. But anyway, I just decided I'm going to go ahead and break this thing open. I mean, it deploys fine, but up until I threw some extra grease on it just a little while ago, and this thing was it was literally squeaking like an old hinge, and that's not normal. And it just feels rough, almost like there's like a ball bearing that's not spinning, which is strange. I've given this knife a little bit of breaking in action. I tend to grab the knife and swing the blade kind of like that. With most of my new knives, this one, the blade to handle ratio is a little bit off, so it doesn't swing as freely. But I mean, I've had this knife for well over a year now, if not longer, definitely longer, as a matter of fact. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. It's like the action should be getting better, but it's getting worse. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my little Weeha Torx screwdriver here. Got my 8 bit. I'm going to go ahead and just open this thing up. One good thing about this knife compared to some of my other ZTs like the 046, I'm sorry, the 0450, 0452 is the fact that it's not a free spinning pivot. So you can see how easily I got that off. It's locked in there. So that's good. I'm going to go ahead and give this knife credit for that. Now, unlike the 0452 and the 0450, the action on this knife has just never been quite as good. Hence me using those other knives a lot more. So I believe the body screws are T6. So let's go ahead and try those. Yeah, that's correct. It's been a while since I've taken this knife apart. One thing about this knife I do remember is that it can be a little tough to center that blade. Oops. I wasn't planning on taking this knife apart, so I'm just trying to hurry up. And I'm gonna keep the shorter screw kind of in the same position as the longer screw. I don't want to reverse those. That's kind of weird that they're actually different. Most of these knives aren't necessarily like that, but I can see that the shorter one just literally goes into the back spacer here, while the longer one goes all the way through and ties into the back spacer. It's comes out back there by the pocket clip. So I'm guessing that's why. So knowing that, it probably isn't too hard to figure out which screw goes where. All right, let's go. Let's pop off without giving me any trouble. Rather do this without having any parts go flying. I may just go ahead and just leave it like this. There's really no reason to take this whole thing off if I don't need to. So I'm just going to rub that off there. Gonna get a little alcohol, put that on so I can just clean everything up. And while I've got that removed, I will go ahead and put some back there and then just move it back into place. It's kind of hard to reach this little crack area when the full handle is on. I'm just getting the inside here. Not sure if you can see that. I'm just swabbing that channel there. There is looks like there is a washer, so Let's see if I can take that out. Okay, yeah, a little gunk underneath that washer. But other than that, I don't really see an issue. You can see the channel's pretty fairly well worn. Again, that should increase the smoothness of this knife, not decrease from it. So I'm going to put that back there. I'm going to try to be careful not to dislodge that. You know what? It's going to fall out anyway. Come here. Okay. Okay. So here's one bearing. And it looks fine. I really don't see what's going on with that either. So go ahead and rub that a little bit. Yeah, let's see here. If you can hear my dog in the background, she's a barky little schnauzer. If anybody knows anything about schnauzers, they are known for their barking. Okay, so that looks fine. Place that here too. Pop that out. Again, everything looks pretty lubricated. Take some of that lubrication off. This is mostly new because again, I was trying to avoid taking this knife apart by just putting some oil in it. And you know, at first I ran through some hot water and all that, you know, just trying to dislodge any gunk that may have gotten into the ball bearings. There, this one felt a little crunchy. Just rubbing it between my fingers there. So that might have had something to do with it. Let's get that. Yeah, that barky little dog is annoying sometimes, especially since I work from home. But I digress. Go ahead and sit that there. Go back and clean out this channel here. Yeah, I've definitely taken knives apart that were way dirtier than this, and I'm really not seeing the issue for it to, the action to have been that bad. I mean, other than that slight, I guess, crunchy feeling in that on that bearing there. So I believe this bearing was on this side. So I'm going to put this facing down. Actually, I think it's the other way around. Let's do that. The ball closed channel part goes onto the actual blade there. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm getting this mixed up. Get the pivot in there first. Of course. Again, this knife should work this way. I believe that's correct. If you can see, let me take that back out, let you see that if you didn't. So one side is kind of closed, and the other side is more open. So the closed side is one I put against the blade. Let's see. Okay, put that back on there. Some people, I guess, they fold the blade in. I don't think it really matters with me, as long as this as long as that stop pin doesn't come out easily. I usually just keep the blade inside. This one I did go back a little bit too far, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave it open. It's not an exact science. Okay, there we go. Let's do that. All right, so Here is the closed side. Here's the open side. Then here's the closed side. So I'm going to put the closed side against the blade. And again, it's already lubricated. I can feel it, as you can see. That's why I'm not gonna add any more oil. Sometimes if you add too much oil, it just builds up gunk a lot quicker. So there's no need for that. And that washer inside there is standing pretty well, so that's good. It makes my life easier. Okay, do something like that. Put that on there. Okay. I can feel a little rough, but that could just be from it kind of not necessarily coming on the inside, but it is a little bit towards this side of the handle, as you can see, like that. So I'm not gonna read too much into that. Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna put a little bit of Loctite on this pivot. Another issue I had with this knife was the pivot would loosen up on me sometimes, and that was super annoying. Another guy I spoke with, he had the same issue. Boy, these dogs are just going crazy. The neighbors' dogs are outside, and they're yappers too, so they get mine going. And I have the back door open so they leave me alone. So anyway, I've got a little bit of Loctite already on the body screws. I'm not going to add any more. I think those are fine right now. Just going to go ahead and put that in there. This back is probably going to be inside, so I'm going to use this Q-tip to make that flush. Again, same thing. I've got a little Loctite on there. It's dried, but to me, it's reusable. You don't have to add it every single time. Okay, and don't necessarily need to screw it in too hard at this point. I'm going to leave it a little bit loose for when I'm adjusting the blade. So I did say I'm going to add some Loctite on this portion, that pivot screw. It does need a little extra Loctite. So I'm going to go ahead and take this T8, put that back on there. Let's go ahead and get my little blue Loctite. It's brand new. This bottle is practically brand new. I've had it for years, but I literally just dab it, right on top there. Do that, and I've never even had to screw it yet to make it come out more. So that just tells you how economical you could be with this blue Loctite here. It really doesn't take a lot. So let's get that back in there. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry, I didn't scratch the blade. Okay, so as you can see, it's slightly off right now. Again, I don't have it fully tightened. As you can see, when you tighten it in, it has very little, as they say, tolerance. I mean, you just tiny bit of movement, and it's pretty much perfect. So that's good. There's not a lot of room to screw that up in this particular knife. I've had some where even though they were called zero tolerance, there was a lot of tolerance. I mean, meaning you took a while to get that adjusted correctly. But sometimes that has to do with tightening in the body screws too tightly before you tighten in that main pivot. But a lot of these knives are different. It really depends on the knife. So let's see. It still kept the blade pretty centered. The deployment. It definitely feels better now. So I think it had something to do with whatever that crunchy grit was on that, on the outside of that bearing. So yeah, all right. I think we solved the issue. Go ahead and check that one more time. It's pretty straight. So I'm gonna leave this alone. I'm not gonna tighten it anymore. I'm not gonna mess with it at all. I think that was perfect. That was one of the easier blade centering jobs I've done in a while. So yeah, I'm gonna let the Loctite sit on there. I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna put this knife away, let it sit for a couple of days, let that Loctite set. So it's one mistake I've made in the past, putting Loctite on it and then immediately going and mess with it and flipping it. And this knife does not like that. It likes the Loctite to dry a little bit and form that that holding process correctly. And after that, I can mess with it and it won't move. So anyway, with that, that's the 0460 tie opening, cleaning, and reassemble. Bye. Thanks.